I just want to tell you a little bit about my dyeing notebook. And this is a little notebook that I keep, and I jot down any recipes that I'm using for dyeing, any adventures along the way, and I try to keep notes of any results. This is a great way of keeping a record of your results, just cutting a little snip out of the corner of dyed pieces of fabric and stitching them onto a background and then just sticking them in your notebook. And I've recorded that this was some double dyeing, and the first dye run used green created from lemon yellow and turquoise, and the second dye run used indigo. And here's some more dyeing that I did, and I've got a photograph of the fabrics on the line, which is always quite nice to put in. There's a picture of the real fabrics stitched onto their background and stuck into the book. Of course, you don't have to go to the bother of stitching them onto a background. You can just stick them straight into the book. This is dyeing in bags where you use different mixtures of different dyes, and so in the first bag I've used five teaspoons of the mid-navy and turquoise mix and no teaspoons of the indigo, and it goes through, working its way down until none of the navy turquoise dye was used and it was all indigo, and you get a really lovely array of different blues by doing that. And that's the project that they were used in. And there's some photographs, and we've got photographs of ice dyeing. This piece is actually the piece that's under my notebook here. This is really interesting because both these fabrics were dyed with this ice dyeing here. And this is the cotton poplin and this is silk organza. Look at the difference between the two fabrics. This is the silk organza, this is the cotton poplin. Exactly the same process, but very, very different results. And some snow dyeing. So here you've got the snow heaped up rather than lumps of ice. Lemon yellow and turquoise going through to golden yellow. And there it is on the line, and there's them folded, and here it is in real life. Good. This is really interesting. This was one bucket of dye, and I've got everything from cotton scrim through to silk noil, Devore velvet, straightforward cotton, heavy cotton velvet, and you can see that the cottons have picked up more of the turquoise and the silks have gone more green. This is some dyeing that I did decades ago, and I've just put it in here, and it's natural dyes on hand spun wool. And here's some more natural dyes that I did using, let me think, what was it? Daffodil, amongst other things. And some Brazil wood. really interesting how red it was and how purple it's come out, and some samples of some organic. Sometimes I just put a little dot of the colour from the dye pot just to show me what the dye looked like. And then this is the finished fabrics. And I tend to just scribble notes in here. It's not a neat and tidy book, but it does have lots of records. And sometimes I don't get a chance to write for some reason there. And so lots of scribbling on pieces of paper. And I will transfer that information across. So keeping a notebook of your dyeing adventures is a really lovely thing to do, because apart from anything else, you can always go back and have a look and remember the really nice things that you made.